In the dusty archives of the American legal system, filled with bizarre secrets and forgotten cases, one trial from 1995 stands out as truly unique. It's the story of Robert Lee Brock, a man who, from behind the concrete walls of the Indian Creek Correctional Center in Virginia, decided to take on his biggest legal enemy, himself. This isn't just a quirky anecdote. It's a case that would ripple through the very fabric of American law, leading to significant changes in how the court system operates. So prepare to step into the vault as we pull back the curtain on the incredible story of the man who sued himself. It all started when Robert Lee Brock, an inmate serving a 23-year sentence, had a moment of strange clarity. He sat down at a scarred wooden table in the prison library and began to write. Page after page, he detailed his complaint, a 7-page document that would soon land on the desk of a federal judge. In this unusual lawsuit, Brock named himself as both the plaintiff, the one bringing the complaint, and the defendant, the one accused of wrongdoing. His legal logic was as twisted as it was brilliant. Brock claimed that back in 1993 he had gotten drunk, and while under the influence of alcohol, he had violated his own civil rights and religious beliefs by committing the crimes that landed him in prison. He argued that he had allowed himself to get intoxicated, which led directly to his arrest and conviction for grand larceny and breaking and entering. In his mind, he was the victim of his own poor decisions, and for this self-inflicted harm, he demanded a staggering $5 million in damages. The breakdown of this $5 million demand was just as strange as the lawsuit itself. He wasn't just suing for personal gain. Brock requested that $3 million be set aside for his family, and the remaining $2 million would be for his own support and care while incarcerated. But here's the real kicker. Since he was a ward of the state with no income and no way to pay himself, he argued that the state of Virginia should be responsible for settling the bill. It was, in essence, an attempt at a legal infinite money glitch, a clever scheme designed to make the government pay for his own self-proclaimed transgressions. This highly unusual case eventually made its way to the courtroom of Judge Rebecca Beach Smith. Imagine her sitting behind her massive oak bench, reading through the crinkled pages of Brock's complaint. While many judges might have dismissed it outright with a simple stroke of the pen, Judge Smith took a different approach. In her official ruling, she famously praised Brock's innovative approach to the legal system. It was a nod to the sheer creativity and audacity of the lawsuit. She acknowledged the novelty of a person suing themselves in such a manner. But praise for innovation was as far as it went. After her initial comments, Judge Smith brought the hammer down, or in this case, the gavel. She ultimately dismissed the case, declaring the claim to be totally ludicrous. Her ruling pointed out the obvious paradox. If Brock won the lawsuit, he would be paying himself with money he didn't have, which he was asking the state to provide. It was a circular and nonsensical legal argument that had no basis in reality. The court simply couldn't entertain such a flawed premise. However, the story doesn't end there. The case of Robert Lee Brock versus Robert Lee Brock became more than just a funny headline. It served as a verified warning to the legal community and lawmakers. At the time, the court systems were becoming increasingly clogged with frivolous lawsuits filed by inmates. These cases, often with little to no legal merit, were consuming valuable time and taxpayer money. Brock's lawsuit was the perfect, high-profile example of just how far things could go. This case, along with many others like it, helped to build momentum for legal reform. It became a poster child for the need to stop outrageous lawsuits from wasting the court's precious resources. This public and political pressure ultimately led to the passage of the Prison Litigation Reform Act, or PLRA, in 1996. This federal law was specifically designed to make it much more difficult for prisoners to file frivolous lawsuits in federal court. It introduced new requirements, like paying court filing fees and a 3-strikes rule that limits inmates who repeatedly file meritless cases. So while Robert Lee Brock's attempt to get rich by suing himself failed spectacularly, his bizarre legal maneuver had a lasting impact. His innovative but ludicrous claim helped to reshape a part of the American legal landscape, ensuring that the courts could focus on genuine legal disputes rather than being bogged down by impossible paradoxes. It's a strange but true story from the annals of legal history, proving that sometimes, even the most absurd ideas can lead to real and lasting change. Thanks for joining us in the vault today. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the strangest corners of history. We'll see you next time.